Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you're having a great Saturday. I have had a pretty good Saturday so far. I got out this piece of beautiful plywood that my husband picked up from the hardware store, and we're going to be painting it as a like a sign for my mom and dad because they have a Florida home, and in their Florida home they live in like a retirement park area. And inside this little retirement park, everybody has their houses, right? Because everybody is from somewhere else. And so a lot of times on their houses, everybody will have their name and like something to kind of show where they're from. And so since we're from, here, I'll flip it so I realize the camera is not backwards, like mirrored for you guys. And they're from Kentucky. So they needed a Kentucky sign to go on the outside of their home in Florida to let everybody know in the retirement community there that they are from Kentucky. And it helps them connect with other people from Kentucky. Hey, Mandy. Hi, Chelsea. I'm going to put my glasses on. I can barely read people's names. I can read the comments decently, but reading names is a little bit harder. There we go. Hi, Kim, watching from England. Wow. Well, I'm from Kentucky. My parents are from Kentucky. This piece is, I think, about 27 inches from tip to tip. And then from top to bottom, it's roughly 12 inches. That was about the size that they wanted because it's going to go not on their door. It's going to go permanently, or is however long it lasts, I guess, on the actual side of their house above the door. So they'll like screw it into the wall. So it'll be there year round. So this is not made from 1/4-inch plywood like Revolution plywood. This is made from a thicker, more durable, expensive kind of wood. I don't even know what kind it is. My husband picked it up, but it's a 1/4-inch thick. It's a higher quality plywood than what I would normally use because this is going to be on their house all year round. Hey, Mom. She's watching right now. Donna said, I need a blank club with etching on them. Brenda says, hello, you're on your way to Folly Beach. I've never heard of Folly Beach. Where is that located? You're from Minnesota? Okay, so Mary said, I saw the shoes on your stories that you made for your son's wrestler. Great job. He has got all kinds of ideas. Now, so for those of you who don't know, earlier today, one of our projects was I had some leftover polymer clay from another project. And my son had said, I wish my wrestler had shoes. He has these little wrestler action figures. And he said, I don't know why I can't say that. I wish my wrestler had shoes. And so I said, well, we could probably make some. He said, how? And I got to thinking about it because of TikTok. I had seen lots of videos of people using polymer clay to make things. And I'm like, well, I've got some polymer clay around here. We could do that. So today he asked if we could do it. So we molded the bottoms of the shoes to the bottoms of the wrestler's foot. And we just made like slides or sandal types. And so then we cut a little strip to go across the top of the foot. And we attached it, we pulled it off the wrestler's foot, we baked it in the oven. They are perfect. So if you want to see that, it's in my Instagram or Facebook stories. Hi, Mamie. So yeah, now his wheels are turning, and if Charlie figures that out, she's probably going to come asking for me to make her some Barbie shoes or something next. Hello from California. Welcome. Glad you're on here. Be sure and hit that follow button. Carolyn wants to see how my nails are painted. I've got orange, and then I have stripes with a pumpkin on that one, and then this one's just glitter. So we got fall nails. Okay, so if you're wanting to do one of these, a Kentucky shape for yourself, or your state, wherever you're from, I know that's backwards for you guys, sorry. Your state, wherever you're from, we sell these in our shop. Now, they aren't this thick. They'll be 1/4-inch MDF that you receive. So they'll be great for hanging on the door, but I don't know how great they would be for like hanging on the outside of your house all year. Okay, so let me just say that. So my mom does live near me, but they have a Florida home that they go to in the wintertime. And so on their Florida house, they want to put this little Kentucky sign. So the details on the side of her house are like green. Sorry, I never did finish my previous thought. I just realized. I was like, wait a minute, Tamara, you didn't finish what you were saying. If you want to get a state cut out, you can get them at shopdoorhangers.com. Okay? Your state, not Kentucky. Whatever your state is. I did put the link in. So anyways, their house is kind of like this color. It's like a hunter green. Like the siding is not that color, but like all the shutters and the awning and things like that are all this color green. And so I'm just going to paint this entire thing green to start with. This is the Hauser Dark Green. It's an Americana Deco Art paint. I'm going to start with a slightly damp brush. Cindy's watching from Florida. What part? So I live in Kentucky. We live near Murray, Kentucky. It's this little part right down here, the part of the state that kind of dips down. That's us right there in the corner. So when I get done painting this, I'll put a little heart right there on the part of the state where we are all from. Do you know where Murray State University is? That's close to where we live. From Covington, Tennessee. I know where that's at. I've heard of it. Where are you guys from? Who else is watching on TikTok that tell me where you're from? We're live on TikTok and Facebook right now. Hi, Sandy. How are you? I think we're going to need some more of this paint. What's everybody doing today? We've got a chili supper / bonfire cookout sort of thing to go to tonight. So that's what we'll be doing. My son is out mowing the yard. I'm so glad he's old enough to do that. I don't have to do it anymore. Thank you, Mary. I got my hair cut this past week, and last night I rewashed it and decided to wear it curly, naturally curly, and it curled up really nicely. Candy said, "You amaze me. Your wheels must always be turning." They never shut off, Candy, ever. I always have ideas. I just don't have enough time in the day to make all of my ideas happen. Kathy's from Corbin, Kentucky. Leslie's from Bowling Green. I don't know where Bell County is. I haven't heard of that one. I see Northeast Arkansas, Williamsburg, Kentucky. So lots of people on lots of people on TikTok think that I'm from Clarksville, Tennessee, because they see that video that I did of the pop shelf store, and they automatically assume that I'm from Clarksville because I did that TikTok video about that store. But I'm not from Clarksville. We just go shopping in Clarksville. Tennessee here. Awesome. You're doing chili and a fire tonight. It's perfect weather for that. It's too warm right now, but this evening it should drop down to, 60s or so, and that's really good weather for me to go eat some chili and sit by a bonfire. I'm excited about it. I keep re-dipping my brush in a little bit of water because this wood is so dry that it's kind of drying my paint out, and I'm not able to smooth my paint as far as I normally would. So keeping my brush kind of damp is allowing that paint to kind of spread a little better. So if you ever have trouble like that, just keep dipping your brush in the water, and that should help. Just be careful though, because if you get too much too much water on your brush, then it will, especially if you're working in a small area, it can make a big mess. So when I'm done with this, I will add a coat of sealer to it. I may spray seal it first, and then I may do a brush-on sealer on top of it on the front and the back of the state, because I need it to be as protected, and also on the raw edges, I need it to be as protected as possible from the weather, because y'all know, Florida air, the dew and the moisture in the air from Florida, because of the ocean, everything, nothing lasts for outside very long. And so I want this to last for at least a few years. So let me give this a nice good brush. Now that I've got it painted once and it's still wet, I'm dipping my brush in a little bit of water and smoothing out all those crazy brush strokes that I had going on. Hi Karen, PC sister, how are ya? Pam says from West Virginia, but you've been to Tennessee and you love it there. Family's doing a beans on the hill tonight. What's that? Pot of beans cooking? Is that kind of like chili? I've never heard of such. Get a little bit more water. Let's smooth out this area. I don't even think this is going to take a second coat. I'll have to wait for it to dry to see. But it's looking pretty good right now. No, I'm not from Tennessee. I'm from Murray, Kentucky. Oh, I see somebody watching from Pigeon Forge. We love to visit Pigeon Forge. Yes, the humidity in Florida also. I'll definitely have to protect those raw edges even more, because that's where the moisture is going to get in first, is these edges, the raw edge of the wood. So the moisture will get in there first, cause the wood to start swelling and splitting, so we don't want that to happen. That's okay. You're just cooking beans outside over an open fire. Well, it sounds like a good time. How do you become a PC? Sister Cloma's asking. You go to paintersclubhouse.com to learn more about it. But if you want to give it a try and try painting along with me, I want you to tune in on Monday to my page here, because we're going to be announcing the next workshop that we have coming up. So in our workshops, you guys get to paint with me, and I give you a template, and it's going to be a Christmas design. You go out and get like a wooden round shape, like an 18-inch round, or you can purchase them from us. We're going to knock the price down on those in our shop to like 12 bucks. So you'll be able to buy them from us if you want to. You'll get some paints. You'll follow along with me live in a Facebook group. And of course, if you can't watch live, you can watch it on replay anytime. Thank you, Leslie. But it'll only be $10 to participate. So that will cover your cost for the template and for all the videos and access to the Facebook group. And it's kind of like your chance to try out what it's like to be in the Painters Clubhouse and paint with me. And so if you enjoy it, of course, you'll be invited to join the Painters Clubhouse on the back side of the workshop. So after you've done the workshop, if you enjoyed it and want to learn more, you can sign up for Painters Clubhouse as well. Now, Painters Clubhouse is a monthly cost. It's $47 a month, and we teach you 2 door hangers every month in there. Plus, we usually teach you a new technique every month as well. And we do Zoom paint parties where all the ladies get together on Zoom and paint together. It's a lot of fun. This month, we're doing a Halloween Zoom paint party. Yes, so Painters Clubhouse is a payment. Yes, it is a monthly subscription. You like my earrings? Thank you. I cut them on the Glowforge. Okay, so we've got our Kentucky painted. It's a dark green color. You can see that the paint's a little uneven in a couple of spots, but what I'm getting ready to do to this, it's not gonna matter. So we're gonna use a dry brush technique. Let me get a bigger one. I have this one. Isn't this pretty? Look at this brush. This is from Murals and More by Jamie Connor. She makes these glittered paint brushes. Is this not gorgeous? So we're gonna use this one. This is called a chip brush because you see how the bristles are like, they look a little bit like straw to me. It's like a natural sort of hair brush. And we're going to use this to create a distressed look on this. Where is that little quiet hair dryer from? I have it linked in my Amazon favorites. I can put that, well, I might be able to put that link down here in the comments for you. Hold on. Let's see if I can do that. So I have it linked in my Amazon favorites. It's called a craft heat tool. Now, for those of you watching on TikTok, my Amazon favorites are linked over in my profile, so you don't have to worry about that. But you can find it at my link in my Amazon. I also have all kinds of stuff linked in there. But we're going to do a distressing technique on this. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of like a tan color. Maybe this one. It's called Desert Sand. I just wanted like a tan. And then we might do like a white and a black. So I do this a little differently on a different part of the egg carton. I use the egg carton lid for this part. Wendy, you'll need to email customer service. Oh, you said you haven't received anything? I'm not sure when you sent the email, but they don't check emails on the weekends. So you may not, if it was after 5 o'clock on Friday or close to 5 o'clock on Friday, you may not hear from them till Monday. They take off on the weekends. Pam says, I noticed a new laser cutter. Nothing happened to the Glowforge. I just got a Thunder laser, which is larger and more powerful, and I don't have to use masking material on it. It's out in the garage, and so I've been using it to cut some of my bigger pieces, but I still use the Glowforge from time to time too. It's great. It's in here. It's inside the craft room. The Thunder is big enough that it's out in the garage. Okay, so use your little chip brush. Just pick up a little bit of that paint. If you're afraid you got too much, just kind of dab, dab, dab and let it get off on the egg carton. Just dab it off a little. And just kind of start with a light touch and start streaking this across. I'm going to go left to right here. I kind of like to keep all of my distressing kind of going in the same sort of direction. And I really like to start on the edges first and then kind of work my way toward the middle. And you can add as much of this or as little as you want. This is such a fun technique, and it's so fast and easy. I used to love it when customers would want to do this technique at paint parties because I knew that like it wasn't going to take very long to get this project done. All right, so now I'm going to do a little bit of white. Let me show you what it looks like first, just with the tan. Just the tan, okay? We're creating sort of a distressed rustic look. Hi, Jackie from North Carolina. Can't get that thing open. Had a lot of dried paint in the lid. This is Snow White, Titanium White by Decor. We're just going to make a little line of it on my egg carton. Once again, see, I just squeezed a little line of it straight across, and I did it about a little bit bigger than the width of my paintbrush, just so I can dip it in there and just get a little on your brush. Any questions? I don't know if I've missed any questions. And then you're just going to kind of lightly, again, just streak and start layering it on top of the tan, and then sort of in other spots. Like you kind of want to have it in some new spots and then have it in the old spots too. It's looking good. Okay, it's hard to find a stopping point with some of this, so sometimes you may just keep on keeping on adding it, and it's hard to find a quitting spot. So just try to add as much as you want and then stop. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of black, because I like to do like a lighter color and a darker color. Hi, Carolyn from Texas. How will I know if there are any ones from the template club? Oh, hang on. I think I missed the first half of your question. You want to buy some templates this weekend. So, Wendy, the thing is if you're in the template club and you have just signed up and you should have gotten the October bundle, don't buy any of the ones that we have, any of the first 10 you see. So when you open up in our shop to purchase designs, they'll be sorted from newest to oldest. Don't buy the first 10 that you see, because the first 10 will be the first 2 bundles that we released in October. Those you will already have in your template club. And if you're not sure exactly which ones those are, you can scroll down here on Facebook or go to my Instagram and look at my posts, and you'll see that each Friday, this Friday and then last Friday, we posted which ones were the new ones. Okay, so get a little bit of black. I opened this and then closed it again. I like to usually do a lighter color and a darker color. So the darker is going to be my black. Notice I'm not really washing this brush out in between either. And we're just going to take that black and just add streaks of it. Again, I may do these streaks just a little thicker. And I'm also going to make slightly longer strokes. I think it almost looks better when you do long strokes. When you do little bitty short strokes, you can kind of tell. It's hard to see this black though. Of course, you can also turn your brush this way and do it, or you can do it this way. Just depends. I'm like leaning way over so that I can see in the light where I'm putting it, because something about the way the light was glaring on my wood, I couldn't see it. Okay, I think that's good. I'm gonna drop that in the water to soak. Let me hold this up for you guys so y'all can see. So we've got a cool, like, distressed sort of look going on. Now, I don't really like how much white I've got over here. It feels like too much. So one thing you can do is, let me get a different one, because I just dropped that. Here we go. I just dropped that chip brush right in the water before I was done. Is you can get a little bit of your original color. For me, it was this Hauser dark green color. And you can pick a little bit of it up on a chip brush and just go right back over the area. So right here, I felt like I had too much. Whoops, I just dipped it in the white. Let me dab that off on a paper towel. You can go right back over that area with the original color, and it's kind of like, doesn't really erase it, but it kind of dampens it or brings it down a touch. Let me add a little black too, kind of. Let me dry this. It's all certain, and sometimes if you've been doing this multiple times, the colors will start to blend and mix together. Why do you put it in the water? I put the brush in the water so the bristles wouldn't dry with the paint on them while I'm talking to you guys and painting. When I'm done, I'll go wash everything out. So it's just to kind of keep the paint moist. What paint brushes do you use again? So most of the paint brushes I use are these blue handled brushes from Decor. I have the post linked, or the website linked for you guys right up in the description if you want to go shop in there. I think all the brushes are 30% off right now. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that, Kate. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying when you're doing this, sometimes if your paint's still too wet and you start to streak another color on, sometimes the colors will like mud together and they'll make like this muddy color. You don't want that. So just dry in between. If you're like a little heavy with your paint. Yeah, the dryer is quiet, isn't it, Ashley? So just dry it real good, and then you can go back over it with a little bit of something else. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this tan and black and add some of that right here where I streaked that green on to kind of lighten it up just a little. I like that. Okay, we're stopping there. Okay, so I didn't like how much white was over here. And for those of you thinking that I painted the shape of Kentucky backwards, I did not. I just don't have the camera mirrored for you guys. So it's correct for me, but it's wrong for you. We'll just go ahead and flip that, because here in a second, I'm going to paint some words on this. And I know you guys are going to think I'm painting the words backwards. So let me flip this. There we go. Now you're going to be like, you look weird. Hello, hello. Nina says, I'm always working hard. Thank you, Nina. Okay. Let's get some white paint, and we're going to add some pink, because we're going to paint a little heart right down here in the corner. So I'm going to use this pink. It's called Tutti Frutti. It's actually a crafter's acrylic, which is it's a Deco Art paint, but it's a little cheaper than the Americana. I think I bought that one at the Pop Shelf store in Clarksville. And then we need white. So I'm going to get, let's see. We'll just get this little bitty, no, yes, I don't know. I can't make up my mind. Are you never scared to get it on your cute shirts? Sometimes I do, Selena, but most of the time, oh, yep, look, I already got paint right here on my shirt, but it's okay. Like, I can get a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a toothbrush, and before I put it in the washer, I just scrub that paint out, and then I put some spray and wash on it and toss it in the washer. It's fine. So if you ever get paint on your shirt, just try that. I actually have a TikTok video and a video on my reels about how to do that if you want to watch it more in depth. So let's take this pink, and we're just going to paint a little heart right here where my parents, actually let's do it in white first, because the pink's not showing up very good on the green. So we're just going to paint a little heart right here on the corner of Kentucky, because that's where we're from. And if you're just now tuning in, I'll explain what this is for. So my parents have a winter home down in Florida, and it's like a little retirement community. And there are people from all over the United States who come to Florida for the winter, and they stay in this little community. And everybody has, not everybody, but most people have signs on their homes that tell where they're from. And so this Kentucky shape is going to go on the outside of my parents' Florida house. That way people know that they're Kentuckians. When they drive by on their bicycles or walk by, they'll know that those people are from Kentucky. So it's kind of cool. I see, let's see. Ashley says, good to know. Just got red paint on my jeans. It'll work. My daughter got paint all over one of her brand new shirts the other day, and it got like 99% of that paint out. The trick is to do the rubbing alcohol and the toothbrush on the paint before you wash and dry the shirt. It can still come out if you do it after it's been washed and dried, but it's a whole lot more difficult. So if you can, just do it before you wash and dry it. It's going to be a lot easier to get that out. Is anyone watching from Memphis? Sharon wants to know on TikTok. I'm about 3 hours from Memphis. All right, so we've got a good base coat of white on this little heart, and I had already painted it pink once, but the pink was so light that we're doing another coat of pink. That crafter's acrylic is good, but it doesn't cover as well as Deco Art. I should have just, as the Americana paints by Deco Art. It's more like a budget paint, I feel like, for people on a budget. You're watching from Kentucky? Awesome. I'm from Murray, Kentucky. So I'm putting my little heart right over here. That's where Murray's located. One more coat of pink, and then we'll start doing some lettering. Okay, so let me hold this up. That's the part of Kentucky that I'm from. The little part, that drops down on the corner of the state right there. That's where I'm from. You're from Clarksville, Bonnie? Cindy says, would you use black paint on any color background? I'm confused. I guess, yeah. I don't see why you couldn't. I think I misunderstand your question, though. Betty says, I like the feathers in your hair. Thank you. Can you? Oh, you can see them today. I discovered last night that you can curl them. Isn't that not cool? You can barely see them. But yeah, I discovered you can curl them with a curling iron. So since my hair is curly, it looked kind of funny having a straight feather. So I took the curling iron and I curled it. I've got a couple on this side too, but they're not standing out as much. Let me see if I can pull them to the front so you can see them. There it is. I have to find the little bead first. There's a tiny little bead holding them in my hair. If y'all don't know about the feathers, we discussed them yesterday on Facebook Live. There they are. There's 2 of them. And since I curled them, I bet they're like trying to curl into each other instead of staying separated. They're kind of fun. You were at Jonathan Creek at a camp, crossings camp. Oh, fun. Hi from Atlanta, Georgia. Dixie Chicks. I love the Dixie Chicks. You like the wall behind me? We actually have a whole blog post on our blog about the wall. So if you are wanting to know how it was done, you can go find that at southernadornmentsdecor.com. Okay. I'm getting this little brush. I love this little brush from Decor. It's a number 8 filbert tip. See how it's got a lot of bristles in it, but they're like short and blunt, which means they're pretty good for lettering, especially like print lettering that's not going to be real scripty. And so I feel like I can kind of draw the letters better with this. What I may do though is write it out in chalk first. That way I kind of have the placement correct, because I haven't done like hand lettering without a stencil or etching on the wood in a long time. So just to be safe, I'm going to write it out with chalk first so that I get it nice and straight. Especially on a shape like this, it can be kind of hard to get something straight. So we want the name, we want their name, we want Tucker, and then we want their first and last name underneath that. So I'm not going to do anything super fancy here, because I want it to be easy to read if somebody drives by their house. If I do like fancy script lettering, it might be a little harder to read. Tucker. And then underneath, I'm going to put Terry and Jan, because that's their names. I'm just writing this with a piece of chalk first. Chalk is great because if I mess this up, I can see it but easier than if I were to use a pencil right now. But also, if I mess up, I can easily like erase it with a baby wipe and start over. There's a fly in here. And I'm doing all caps. That makes this easier too. And it's easier to read. Okay. So here's what we got. So it's going to be on their house in Florida, and anybody that drives by will see that the Tuckers, Terry and Jan, are from Kentucky. Were you a school teacher at one time? You bet I was. What gave it away? Was it the chalk? What gave it away? I'm curious to know now. Yeah, I taught school. Actually, I only technically taught full-time for 1 year, and then I got the pink slip letting me go because they were cutting 5 teachers that year. And then I did, how did that get there? I've got some gold leaf on my arm. I don't know where that even came from. And then I substitute taught for a few years. And then I started this, and this took over my life, which I'm not mad about it. Are you going to put the name of the town? No, I'm not. Not on this one. Okay, so we're getting our white paint on our little filbert tip brush. And now we can just trace right over the letters. And I'm just holding my brush just like I would a pencil. And you just push down, making one solid stroke. And the thing is like when you're doing this, keep your bristles pushed down. Like they need to be bent so that, let me get a dry paintbrush so I can explain this better. Okay, so when you're doing the brush across the wood, you want to bend those bristles like this as you're pulling it. Like you don't want to have it like this. You want to flatten it out so that the middle part of the bristles are like bent and touching the wood. And then when you get to the end of the letter, instead of flicking like that, when you get to the end of the letter, lift straight up. That will allow you to have the smoothest end on your letter. So you won't have like that weird little wispy brush stroke at the end of your letter. Aw, thank you. You're too kind. Somebody on TikTok saying something sweet, but I can't read their username from here. Same thing going across the letter. Lift up. You might have like this odd little spot where the bristles kind of like came up, but it's not going to be on the end of the letter. You'll be able to, like, when you do your second coat, you'll be able to cover that up easier. And I usually do redip my brush frequently. Hang on, I got to read this comment. This is funny. Laura said, I went to the paint party this weekend. I heard you in my head telling me how to do it the whole time I was painting. Was I teaching you instead of the teacher of the paint party? Hi, Debbie. Glad you could jump on here. Hi, Cindy. Thank you. So we're going to go over these letters one time first, and then we'll go back over them a second time to make sure that the white paint is nice and thick. And then we'll take the chalk off if I have, because I've smeared the chalk all over the place with my hand. Just go slow around each letter so that you have nice control over the paint. It's not a race. The kind of paint you use makes a big difference. If you are out there using cheap paint and you're frustrated with your results, it's probably not even you. It's probably the paint. Because I can tell a big difference since I switched to using Decor Americana paints. The application is smoother. The colors are more consistent. It like doing lettering like this, everything is smoother. It's way easier with good quality paint. So if you don't have any Decor Americana paint, I want to highly encourage you to go check it out on their website. Actually, I was getting ready to do these letters down here. I realized I probably need to switch to a smaller brush. Hi, Brett. What's up?
How much longer till we go?
It's at 5 o'clock. He's wanting to know when the cookout starts. Okay, so I switched to a smaller filbert tip brush. I don't know if I have one that's Decor that size. If I do, it's lost somewhere in my paintbrush. But I've got this one. It's the same kind of brush. It's just small. It's narrower this way. Hi, Deneen. Thank you. Should the painting be on the thicker side for lettering? So I'm going to probably do 2 coats on this white because it's still kind of transparent. But I don't think it necessarily needs to be thicker than what you're painting on everything else. It just needs to be thick enough that it looks consistent. So I switched to this smaller brush because the letters for their first and last name are just a little bit smaller. And I didn't want them to be the focus. I wanted Tucker to be the focus up here. So just re-dip your paintbrush fairly often so that you've always got like a nice smooth stroke to paint with. This is looking good. Do you sell the Kentucky blanks? Yes, Gretchen, you can get the state blanks in our shop. I did link them up above for you. If you can't find them in the shop for some reason, just use the search bar. It's in the menu and type in state. It'll probably have a picture of Kentucky as the example photo, but it says your state, so you can select any state. Just be sure, I don't know if it lets you select your state or if it asks you to type it in like in a note or a comment, but just be sure and tell us. That way we know. Like in a note or something. almost done with our first coat. And then we'll go back over it again. So I'm gonna dry it real quick. You're kind of new here. What state do you live in? I live in Kentucky. Are you freehanding those letters? So yes, I drew them on first with a piece of chalk to make sure everything looked good and was nice and straight. And then I'm tracing over my chalk with a paintbrush. Oh, okay. Aaliyah's saying that it does make you pick your state before you check out. We used to have it where it didn't, and that was really confusing because we would have to contact people and say, what state? The chalk doesn't mess up your paint. No, it does not. It did kind of spread and make a mess all over the door hanger, but when we're done, I should be able to clean it up. It won't be any big deal. I'll just use a baby wipe and gently clean it up. Okay, gonna go over it one more time to make sure the white is nice and thick and shows up really well. And I'm not seeing any of the green through the white letters. Just be careful to stay on top of those letters on the second time you go around. Don't stray outside the letters. So coming up on Monday, if you guys haven't heard about it, we do have a new workshop you can sign up for. It's going to be a Christmas workshop this time. We'll be painting a Christmas door hanger on a wooden round. The round will be 18 inches. So if you want to participate in that and paint your first door hanger, or maybe not your first, you know, maybe your second, your third, however many, it'll be a handheld guided experience. I'll be walking you through it step by step. We'll break it down over I think it's over 5 days. So we'll do the background one day, the lettering a day, you know, we'll break it down so that you're not having to do the whole thing start to finish in one day. So if you're a slow painter, these workshops are going to be your jam. It's only going to be $10 and you'll be starting to sign up on Monday. We'll give you a supply list. You'll get access to a private Facebook group where we'll be doing the training. It'll be a lot of fun. Somebody's birthday's tomorrow. I can't see your name, but happy birthday. You love Christmas, Phyllis? So the pictures that I took for this project, I put on a Santa hat and a Christmas shirt, and I felt so silly doing that in October, but it was fun. I almost got in the Christmas spirit early. Shirley's on the West Coast, like California. Oh, I better make sure the lettering at the bottom is dry, or I will stick my hand up in it. What is the trick using fluorescent deco art paints? Catherine, sometimes the trick is painting them on white to make sure that they show up really nice and bright. It depends what color you're painting them on. Tara loves the workshops. Wonderful. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining me on TikTok. Turnwater, Washington. I've never been to Washington, but I've always wanted to go that far out west. I think that would be fun. You like my cup? I got this years ago in my Framed by Sarah monogram box. Years ago. I've had it for probably 2.5 years now. Okay, we're gonna use our larger filbert tip brush to go over the larger letters one last time. It helps if you're using a good quality paint when you're doing lettering, because lettering is tricky. If you have to go over it, you know, more than 2 times, I feel like the lettering starts to look weirdly textured. You know, it's like each brush stroke shows, and then it's kind of distracting. So anytime I'm doing lettering, I'm trying to make sure I use a really good paint. What kind of paint do most of you use? Do any of you guys use Decor Art Americana? Your emojis aren't working? That's no fun. Phyllis says, I love the workshops too. I'm going to try to make it. Usually have to watch. That's okay if you have to watch after I'm live. If you have to watch on replay, that's totally fine. Are there pics of the workshop piece? They're coming Monday. We've been posting sneak peeks though, Cynthia. So if you want to see some sneak peeks, go to my page. We've been posting little teasers about it, but we'll be sharing the whole thing on Monday. Now, if you're a Painters Clubhouse member, I did show the Painters Clubhouse yesterday what it looked like when we did our little powwow Facebook Live together. So go back and watch that if you're a Clubhouse member. They always get first look at everything, so they got to see it early. And of course, our Painters Clubhouse members get to participate in all of our workshops free of charge. So if you're a Clubhouse member, do not pay for the upcoming workshop. You'll get it for free anyway. Okay, I've got the words all done. Now I want to take a round tip brush like this, a little pointed one, and we're going to get a little bit of white paint, and we're just going to kind of go along the outline of the state to kind of accent the shape of the state. It helps a little bit, I feel like. Ties everything together better. And I'm using white because white shows up better than black does on this color. So I'm just kind of loosely tracing the outer edge of the design. And I'm just kind of inside the edge just a little bit. I'm not perfectly on the edge. The outline really does set it off, doesn't it, Debbie? It kind of helps you like notice the whole shape of something. Aaliyah says, I bet if you all commented, you might could talk her into a sneak peek. I don't know. Will I get in trouble with Hannah if I do that? Hannah's on our team. Hannah's in charge of the sneak peeks. I feel like it would be letting the cat out of the bag, and Hannah might not be too happy with me. You switched to Decor Americana and it's helped with your lettering. I'm so glad to hear that, Debbie. Maria's begging now. Don't be pulling at my heartstrings, Maria. Actually, I may take, I just now thought, I may take like, I was going to use a paint pen, but nah, we'll just use our little round tip brush. I'm going to take a little bit of black and I'm going to outline this pink heart. Just tracing around the pink heart to kind of make it stand out a little bit more too. Everything you, oh, thank you, Phyllis. That's so sweet. And then I'm going to put a little white accent on the corner of the heart. So let me show you what it's looking like so far. So there's the heart. See? Okay. Somebody else said they use Decor. Ray does. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Let's make sure this is real dry. Then we're going to clean up the chalk marks, and I think we'll be done. I had to get this done before my parents go to Florida again. They're supposed to be leaving for Florida sometime soon, and I wanted to make sure and get it done so they could take it with them. I'll have to get them to take a picture of it once they get it put up on their house so you guys can see. Thank you. I saw a question. Where was it? If we guess the piece, will you show us? Yeah, but there's too many people on here who already kind of know what the piece is, so I feel like that would be cheating. What do you think, Aaliyah? Will I be in trouble with Hannah if I reveal it? Aaliyah's on my team. She's watching. I'm just taking a baby wipe and I'm just carefully dabbing. I'm not rubbing. Because if you start rubbing back and forth, the fibers from the baby wipe make a mess all over the project. So we're just kind of dabbing. Just enough to get that chalk off. And every now and then I will flip my baby wipe over and get a fresh spot. That way the fibers don't continue to break up, because the wood does like to break up the fibers a little bit. Okay, I think it's good. Yeah. Aaliyah says she'll take the heat from Hannah. All right. So here's the reveal of this one, and then we'll do the reveal of the workshop that's coming up on Monday. What do you think? Mom, do you like it? Is Mom still even watching? Who knows? Aaliyah says maybe just a corner. So now you're backpedaling, Aaliyah. I feel like you're not taking the credit. Let's see. Ready? I'm only going to show it for like 2 seconds. You got to watch fast. You ready? Oh, what Hannah don't know. Hannah's going to find out. Oh, did you see it? Okay, that's all you get. Nope, doesn't have snowmen. What state is that? It's the state of Kentucky. And what kind of wood did I use on the Kentucky? So this is thicker wood than what I normally use. It's 1/2 inch thick because it's going to be up all year on the outside of my parents' house. Not hanging on the door, but screwed into the wall. Yeah, my mom, you think my mom will love it. I'm going to coat it really good with a sealer front, back, and edges. Okay, especially that raw edge because that's where the moisture will get in first. You guys are excited? Okay, we'll come back Monday and you can sign up for the workshop. The workshop will be happening the first week of November. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.